Today we'll learn an efficient workflow for organizing thousands of photos in Lightroom without wasting your time. So let's get started. Hello friends, my name is Brendan from BeWillCreative.com, where we love to talk about photography and photo editing, but today we love to talk about organizing photos, which is one of those not so attractive parts of photography. After you finish a shoot, you have hundreds or thousands of images that you need to go through, but obviously not every single one of those photos is one that you want to edit and keep. So with these culling techniques, you can sort through those images without wasting your time and only be left over with the keepers that you want to edit and share and so on. In this tutorial, you'll learn the different options you have for sorting your photos in Lightroom, and then I'll share a workflow that I like to use for sorting my own photos. So if you're like me and you don't want to spend hours going through all of your photos, you'd rather just spend a few minutes, then what you're going to learn here will be crazy useful. So let's hop into Lightroom and see how it all works. So for this tutorial, I've imported a random batch of images from a shoot I was doing with G Adventures last summer. So I have a whole bunch of images here, in fact 1,057 of them, and I need to go through all of them and pick the ones I like and the ones I don't like, so that I can figure out what ones I have to edit. Now, I'm obviously not going to go through all 1,000 of these images for this tutorial, but I'm going to share you the different methods that I would use to make that happen. Now, before you organize any of your images, you want to make sure they are in the library module and not the develop module. That's because when you're in your library module, all of your image previews will load a lot faster, so it just takes a little bit of strain off your computer, and it's loading a quick preview rather than the actual image like it does in the Develop tab. There are a few different views that you have within the library module, and I like to use the loop view, which is this option right down here. Currently we're in grid view, which is great for seeing everything at once. However, it's really hard to see if you actually like that specific photo or not because it's so tiny on your screen. However, by going to loop view, which is this option right here, you can then see your whole image, and it's just a quick preview to see whether you like it or not. Now down here on the bottom of your screen, you have what is called the film strip, and this is like a preview of all of the images in your folder. So if I just go and tap the arrow keys on my keyboard, I can continue to bump through all of the images within this specific folder. That way you don't have to click between each individual photo, which would be a complete waste of time. Just make sure to use your arrow keys instead. Now the first thing you do when you're wanting to organize your photos is you have to separate the ones you want to keep from the ones that are totally garbage. You don't want them anymore. Things that are like blurry, out of focus, or duplicates that you just know you will not use. So the first pass that you should do is by adding flags to your images. Now the way a flag works is by right-clicking on an image, you can go up to set flag and you can choose flagged or rejected. By default, everything will be set to unflagged, but for this example, we'll start with the flagged option. By clicking flagged, notice how I now have this little white flag beside my image. If I click on another photo, I can then press P on my keyboard to set the flag a little bit faster. But now if I filter my view so I only see my flagged images by going right here to the filter option, and then I can go down to flagged. Now I'll only see those two flagged images that I just picked. So you can now imagine doing that hundreds or thousands of times throughout an entire group of images. You can quickly sort out the good from the bad just by using your flagged images. Going back to the regular view here, let's talk about reject flags. So let's say in this example, I have three very similar photos here. So that means I don't want to keep all of them necessarily. So it might be worthwhile just to get rid of one or two of the photos completely. So of these three photos, let's just say this middle one is the image that I want to get rid of. So what I can do is right click on the image, go to set flag and rejected, or I can press X on my keyboard and it's going to set a reject flag. So comparing these two flags side by side, you can see that obviously the reject flag is black, has an X in it, and it also grays out the image. So it basically indicates this photo is no good, you don't want to look at it, forget about it. Now the advantage to using reject flags is you can later on quickly delete all of your rejected photos from Lightroom or from your disk, which saves a ton of space in your catalog and on your hard drive if you're wanting to delete your photos from the disk. I'm going to share how you can delete those reject photos at the end of this tutorial, but for now let's hop into the next option you have for sorting your photos. Besides your flags, you have the option to rate your images from 1 to 5 stars. So you can right click and go to set rating, and then you have all of the options here. Or a faster way of doing things is by pressing 1 to 5 on your keyboard right here. So obviously if you press 1 on your keyboard, you get 1 star, press 2, you get 2 stars, and so on all the way up to 5. So just to give you an example, let's go and add a 1 star and a 3 star and a 4 star here. So we have a whole bunch of different star ratings, but they're all considered rated in Lightroom. So going to filter our search up here in the corner of the film strip, we'll set our filter to rated. And now look what happens. We only see our rated images. However, what if we only want to see our 3-star images, for example? Well, we can further refine our search right here by clicking up to the 3-star option. And now we see 3 stars and above because of this parameter right here. But by clicking on this, you can set it to greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or exactly the rating of 3 stars. So now when I make it set to exactly 3 stars, I only see those 3-star images. So you can start to see how this becomes extremely useful if you're wanting to sort your photos based on a specific type of image, or if you need to bring it into Photoshop or Luminar or another program outside of Lightroom. Using star ratings is a really easy way to separate everything a little bit more. Going back to the filters off option, you have one more way of sorting your images, and that's with a color label. So for this example, let's click on this photo and we can add a color label by right-clicking, going to set color label, and then you can choose between the different options here. Alternatively, if you don't want to go and do the right-click thing because it's a lot of clicking, you can also press 6 to 9 on your keyboard to add those different colors in as well. So for example, if I press 6 on my keyboard, notice how it now has a red rating. If I press 7, it has yellow, and you get the idea. So what I like to do with color ratings is add a specific color to photos that I need to bring into Photoshop for spot removal adjustments or skin retouching or something like that. Then I can easily sort what types of photos need what adjustments based on the color label that I'm using. Depending on how in-depth you like your workflow to be, you don't have to go that far into it, but it's an option that's there. And it's really helpful because then you can further sort your photos once again by their color label right up here, just by selecting that specific color label like so. Okay, so now you have an idea of the different options you have to organize your images in Lightroom. You can flag images, reject images, add a star rating, or add a color label. Between these 4 options, you can really quickly sort through all of your photos. So let's now go through a workflow that I like to use for sorting my images and making sure I don't spend hours doing this. I can do it all in maybe 20 minutes max for a whole bunch of photos like this. In this case, we have 1,000 photos. So let's start fresh here and pretend like we are going to sort through all of these images for the very first time. Okay, so what I want to do is now separate all of my photos from the good and the bad. So at this point, the very first pass, like I mentioned before, you just want to pick the ones that you like from the ones you don't like. So that means adding a picked or rejected flag. Now, as you now know, you can either press P or X on your keyboard depending on which flag you would like to add, but you would have to press the arrow keys as well to go to the next image. And for me, that seems like a bit of a time waste and kind of annoying. So to do it automatically, there's a better option that you can do instead. And by going up to Photo, and down here to Auto Advance, what that does is every time you add a rating to an image, it automatically jumps to the next photo. So then you don't have to press any of your arrow keys, and it just makes things a little bit faster. So for example, this image here, I like it, so I'm going to press P on my keyboard to pick it. Notice how it just instantly jumps to the next photo because of Auto Advance. I like this image too. I'll press P. I like that one, press P, and so on and so forth. So let's say I like this photo, but I don't like that one, so I'll press X. Then I'll press X again because it's a duplicate. That one's not that exciting either, so I'll press X. Too many tourists, I'll press X. That one looks a little better. P for picked, picked. I like to have those options. And again, if you're not sure, you can always just press U on your keyboard, and that's just gonna leave it set as is as an unpicked flag. Let's continue on quickly going through and sorting some of these images. So now after just a couple of seconds, we've gone through quite a number of photos here, adding picked or reject flags across the different images that we like and don't like. So at this point, let's just go back to our grid view, for example, and now you can easily see the picks from the rejects here. After I finish flagging all of my photos, I'll filter them so I only see the flagged ones because those are the ones I actually want to work with. So in grid view here, I'll just go up to attribute and then I'll click the flagged option right here. So now we can see all of the flagged images that I have selected. Going back to our loop view right here, and by the way, if you don't see this toolbar, you can just press T on your keyboard to toggle it and make it come to view again. But now at this point, what we'll do is go through our photos once again and double check that you actually like the images that you're working with. So perhaps there are a couple images that you want to get rid of, then you can just press U on your keyboard to unpick it. That way you can just unpick it, but it doesn't actually leave Lightroom, so it's still there if you change your mind. After I go through all of my photos, what I'd like to then do is just go and edit my images as normal. So I could just go to the Develop tab, begin to edit my photo as is, and then go through all of those flagged options. If there is an image that I want to bring into Photoshop, for example, let's say this image I want to bring to Photoshop, maybe replace the sky, what I would do is then add a color label. So in this case, I'll right click, go to set color label, and then just put it to green. So that easily indicates that that photo needs a little bit more work done and I should bring it into Photoshop later on. So editing my images in Lightroom and then adding those color labels to which ones I want to bring into Photoshop, I can then quickly figure out where I need to edit my photos based on the flagged images that we've picked. Now, most of the time when I'm working on a giant set of photos, I'm not going to edit them all at once because that would take a little bit too much time. So I'll be working on a section of images and then I'll continue on with another part. So what I like to do in that case is after I edit a bunch of photos, what I'll do is add a 1-star rating to all of my exported images. So for example, let's say that from this image all the way back to here has been edited. So what I can do is hold Shift and click between those 2 points to highlight all of those images. Then I can just right click on those images and go to set rating and then 1 star. And then all of those photos will have a 1-star rating indicating to me that they have been exported already, so I don't need to worry about those anymore. That means when I'm in my flagged view, I can further sort my preview by using a custom filter and then changing the parameters to rating is equal to. And since it's set to 0 stars, that means I'm not going to see any of those photos that I previously exported. I'll only see the ones that I need to work on still. However, if I want to go back and view all of those images at once, I can just add a 1-star rating and then everything comes back into view for me. It's really super easy, and this is just a way that I like to go about things. It works for me, but I would encourage you to experiment with some different things because of course everyone likes to organize and clean things up a little bit differently. So this is how I like to do it, and I hope this helps you to get on the right track with sorting your photos. Now, after I've edited all my images, I'm going to go and look at my reject photos. So going to my grid view here, I'm going to set my attribute to not flagged, but reject flag, which is this dark colored one here. Now I'll only see my rejected photos. It is worthwhile to go through these reject images just to double check you didn't accidentally reject a photo that was really good, because that is a possible mistake. Now, after you're sure that all of these photos are no good, you're not going to use them for anything, you have 2 different options. You can either delete them from Lightroom, or you can delete them from your disk entirely. Now, to delete all your rejected images, all you have to do is go to Photo and then down to Remove Photo. By clicking on that, you can then choose to remove from Lightroom, which will just get rid of it in the program, but it will still be available on your hard drive, or you can delete from disk, which will get rid of it from Lightroom and from your hard drive. So depending on how bad those photos were and you just really do not want them, it is a nice way to just streamline the process and save a little bit of hard drive space while you're at it. Clicking either of those options, all of your reject images will get tossed out of Lightroom. You'll never see them again, and then you can continue working on the photos that you actually care about. So that is how I like to cull my photos in Lightroom, and I hope that helps you get started on a workflow of your own. Alright guys, so those are the options you have for sorting your images in Lightroom. Again, you have flagged, reject flags, color labels, or ratings to choose from, and all of those can help you to further sort your images. You can use multiple organization systems together. For example, you could have a flagged, color labeled, and rated photo all on one image if you wanted. Between these different options, the sky's the limit, and you can sort through all of your images really quickly. Better yet, using Auto Advance, it helps you save the time of pressing that little button on your keyboard, and it just does all the work for you and skips ahead to the next photo after you've set your sorting option. So with that, if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to hit that like button, as it really does make a difference, and also consider subscribing to stay up to date with more tutorials just like today. Again, my name is Brendan from BeWellCreative.com, and I'll catch you back here next time for another new tutorial. See you then.